What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe.
New Orleans Saints, how they ended up having an early practice yesterday. Everybody then went home to their families, except for the coaches. The coaches actually stayed in the building, slept there overnight. I believe they are pushing today's practice back a little bit, but all the work should be able to get done. And then this weekend, they will travel to Dallas to take on Taylor's beloved Cowgirls. And Jake, when you start to talk about keys to this game, once again, we start with the injury report here as Marshon Lattimore misses practice yesterday with a kind of it says hamstring / hip on the actual report. Remember, we talked to Nick yesterday. It's a bit of a mysterious hamstring, not a ton known about it. This is critical because Marshon Lattimore is someone who traditionally locks in for the big games. Like when he has struggled in his career, most of the time, it's against teams that maybe it's like LSU against Nichols, right? He's just maybe not taking that seriously. They don't have like a great number one. He thinks he's going to have an easier matchup, and he just kind of gets caught with his pants down a little bit. When he goes against the best, he has an uncanny way of upping his play. And this week, if he plays, he'll get to square up with the NFL's second highest ever non-quarterback contract in history in CeeDee Lamb. Jake, how bad is it for the New Orleans Saints if Marshon Lattimore can't play here?
Well, he's a great player. He does step up in the biggest moments, and we all know like him and Mike Evans going back and forth is some of the best TV that you can find. Whenever they match up against each other, you better be paying attention because something is going to happen. But this is why you draft Kool-Aid McKinstry in the second round, because it's gotten to a point where you can't trust Marshon Lattimore to be on the football field. He's had too many small injuries that have started to add up. You don't take, in my opinion, a guy in the second round. Now, Kool-Aid's a really good player, justified second round pick. If he'd have been back into the first round pick, nobody would have complained. But where you are at the position, having Paulson and Debo already, having Alontae Taylor that certainly could play some corner. You go and you make this move because you're not sure about Marshon Lattimore and how long he can stay healthy and if he's going to continue to miss games. And so that's why you drafted a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry. So it feels like, and I don't know if you agree, the Saints kind of had a plan if this happened. If he wasn't able to go out there, if he only played in 8 games, we at least have what we feel like is a first-round talent, even though we got him in the second round in Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Look at this, dude. See, this is why I came up to the lake. My grandma's here, my mom's mom. Shout out Mimi. She's helping take care of the kids during the show, and it's a true Manny hospitality.
Oh, man.
Look at this. Some biscuits with some roast, some leftover roast in between, dude. A fresh
That's 3-1 great. That is 3-1 great right there.
To the bed. Shout out Mimi. I love you. You're the best. I'm having flashbacks of my childhood. So sweet. I said I wasn't going to eat this morning, too, because all I did was eat yesterday. And,
that's over.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Hey, you made it to 7:26.
Here's to hoping that Marshon Lattimore playing is not a wrap. Even though you do raise a good point, it's not like this is not a situation the Saints are not used to. So maybe it's not quite as impactful as it would appear to be on the surface because they've been dealing with this the last couple of years. I can't exactly remember if Lattimore was around for the 21 game. But I looked it up. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches for 89 yards and 13 targets back in 2021 against the New Orleans Saints. So definitely something to keep an eye on going forward this Sunday is whether or not Lattimore is available. How about this? One of the other matchups. So on Saturday, we told you to watch the defensive ends against the tackles. And, on Sunday, that's obviously going to be huge as well with Marcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons going against Fuanga and Penning. But how about this, dude? Penning, I found this on New Orleans Football. Here's Penning's career numbers in games, how many pressures he's given up per game when he's had to when he's had to pass protect more than 5 plays in a game. 2023, week 1, 7 pressures. Week 2, 4 pressures. Week 3, 3 pressures. Week 4, 6 pressures. Week 5, 4 pressures. Week 6, 10 pressures. Then he gets benched, right? Only gave up 1 pressure last week. By far the best game that he's ever had. And again, we're continuing with this theme of scheme, putting players in a position to succeed. It should come as no surprise then, Jake, that within that great offensive performance, the Saints only ran 5 true drop back plays where the tackles didn't have some form of help. So Kubiak very much through game 1 doing a really good job of scheming around those weaknesses.
Yeah, because you have to. And, saying it and doing it's 2 different things. And so you're, glad if you're a Saints fan that you saw the offensive coordinator realize, hey, we are deficient over there at right tackle. Like, we have got to help him out by scheme, by help, by whatever it is, because we can't just drop back and throw the football. You can't do that because of everything you just laid out there, because that's where they struggle. But now that's okay. There's some teams across the league that are going to continue to do that all season long. The only question and concern you would have is like Shaq Thompson and Jadeveon Clowney are good, but like Clowney's on the other side of his career, and Shaq Thompson's a good player. He ain't Micah Parsons, and he ain't Dexter Lawrence, and so like that's
I said DeMarcus Lawrence.
Like that's what's going to be the key to the game, right? Is those players that are really good edge rushers, they watch tape, they've seen on film. What are they going to come up with to try to combat what you've been doing or what you did in week number 1? Because Micah Parsons is a guy that maybe more than any defensive player in the NFL can affect the game just by being out there. What I mean by that is this entire week, the Saints, and you know this, T, the Saints offensive line and their quarterbacks and their backs, they're all, and tight ends, they're having meetings that they probably didn't have last week, trying to figure out how they declare Micah Parsons in the count. Yeah. Is he always going to be down? Is he going to be, if he's standing up, he's, maybe back into the running backs count. If he stands up and walks around, it's like, hey, forget it, 11, you're always down. And what we mean by that is if he's down, the offensive line always handles him. He's never on a back, but they do so many different things with him because they know he's a cheat code. They're trying to mess up your count. They're trying to get him in a position where he ends up on a mismatch. I mean, he goes against guards and centers a lot. Like he finds himself inside the A and B gaps just, by him walking around, and it's down and around, and all of a sudden here comes number 11 like a bat out of hell. So they're going to have a plan. And the Saints have to make sure that they counter whatever that is, because Parsons is just different than anybody in the league. And if I'm the Cowboys, I feel like I have the advantage, and I got to be creative in what we do with him.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I don't expect Penning Fuanga to play as well as they did on Sunday. I don't expect them to play good. I guess the question is, can you be good enough on the road, hostile environment? Gonna have to be going on silent. It's a huge uphill battle for the New Orleans Saints. But again, through week 1, some pretty good scheme, and I'll be very interested to see how Kubiak tries to counter their counters. And to your point, I'll never forget my old man talking about John Randall, the old Vikings D tackle back in the day.
Yeah, psycho in the best way possible.
Yeah, pass pro was simply slide to John Randall's side.
Yeah.
Wherever he's at, that's what we're doing. And we'll figure out the rest.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.